Hi everybody, thanks for joining us today. So we're going to introduce the SailGrip Android app today, and then we're going to find out how to integrate the SailGrip app with all the Digital Yacht products. So me, I'm Nicolas. I work for Digital Yacht. As you can hear, I've got a strong French accent. But if you have any questions or whatsoever, you can ask anything at the end of the webinar. At the bottom of the screen, you can see the chat or Q&A buttons. And here's Henri, he's the app developer of Celgrip, and now he's going to talk and introduce his app.
Hi guys. Thank you, Nicolas, for inviting me to this webinar. So I am thank you everybody for joining us tonight. So as Nicolas was saying, I am the developer of the SailGrip apps. So SailGrip apps are navigation apps, and I have been developing them for the past almost 10 years now. Okay, so tonight I will speak specifically about SailGrip WR, which stands for weather routing. Okay, and so let's start. That's it. If we can go to the next slide. Okay, so what are the features of SailGrip WR? So the first thing, it's a weather app. I mean, it's designed for sailing. So what can you do in weather? We'll see a little bit later. But you can get all the weather data and information you need when you go sailing at sea. Second, it's a tides app. So you have roughly 3,000 harbors or tide stations in the world, and you have currents. So currents, you have either oceanic currents or tidal currents. Okay, so I mean, SailGrip WR is very well known for its routing module. So I'll show you how it works. You have nautical charts, of course, if you want to go out. You can integrate the app can be integrated with your boat data through NMEA. You can get the IIS data from the boat, and I will talk very quickly about a new app that we are developing today, which is going to be navigation analysis and sharing. Because as you can see, what you have today is all everything that you need before the navigation, during the navigation, and the last part will be the navigation analysis. So on the left side of the screen, you have, I mean, I can briefly talk about what we see here. So you have the navigation panel with the most important boat data. As you can see, you have the boats in green. You have the small boats, which are the AIS data. You have a red boat on the top of the screen. It's a routing, and you have a small window with the data from the Vega boat, which is coming from the AIS. So the SailGrip apps, they work. You can get them on Google Play. Okay, so they are Android only apps. Okay, and I'll come back to that later. But let me show you what you can get. So this is the SailGrip developer page on the Play Store. So we have a set of apps. The one I'm going to talk about is this weather routing. So this one and this one, they are pretty much the same apps. This one is free, and you can buy the premium options inside the app. And this one, you can buy the license forever. Okay. The other apps, very quickly, you have some marine weather apps, an anchor alarm apps, a regatta start app, and the latest app that we have just developed is SailGrip for virtual regatta, which integrates with the game. Okay. So let's go in more detail about the weather. So what can you do? What can you do in SailGrip regarding weather? The first thing is grip files. For those who don't know what a grip file is, grip stands for gridded binary. Okay, so it's simply a matrix with weather data inside. Okay, and the most important weather data for us when we go sailing is, of course, the wind, but you can have, I mean, the pressure, you can have current, you can have the rain, you can have the pretty much anything you want. So what what you can do in SailGrip, what is very specific to SailGrip, is that you can access these grip files from many different sources. So you have redundancy, which is key when you go at sea. You don't want to be to have the only one source for your grip files, because if this source is down, then you are stuck. You cannot do anything. So with SailGrip, and that's something that you'll see, it's pretty much everywhere in the app, it's redundancy. Okay, so grip files, many sources, redundancy, and you have, of course, all the models and parameters that are available for free. They are in SailGrip. So what it means is you can get the GFS model, which is the most well-known model from the NMEA, from the US, but you can get as well models from Météo France, like Arome, Arpège, which are high resolution models, and they cover Europe. You can have Icon, and you have many different models. Okay, and you have as well some grip files for currents. So when you're at sea, you can get your grip files, and you will have the information, the current information, and you can route using this data. Okay. The second thing which is very important is weather charts. Very often when you look at apps, navigation apps, the only thing they can get is grip files. But with grip files, I mean, it's great, but you cannot see everything. With SailGrip, you can get the weather charts with current situation and forecast. Okay, and this is what you can see on the left side of the screen, and you can have both the grip and the weather chart together on the map. Okay, it's very important to get these weather charts if you go offshore, because then you'll see what you can see on the left is you have all the information regarding the fronts. Okay, and what we have done as well pretty much a year ago is we have developed an interface to get some highly compressed satellite images, and I think it's pretty much unique. Nobody else does that. The idea is it does give you yet another set of information. Okay, and of course when you're at sea, you want to get your data, your weather data, and the only thing we can do now is through satellite, and the app has been certified by Iridium for the past 6 or 7 years, and it's totally integrated with the Iridium Go. Okay. Nicolas, if you see any question, please.
Yeah, for sure.
Please
tell me.
You
can ask questions, guys, in the Q&A on the chat. If you ask anything, we will reply to your questions.
Okay, so let's go to the next slide. So weather routing. So what is weather routing? It's different things. It's you optimize a sailing route under certain conditions. If you're racing, what you want to do is to go as fast as possible. But if you're cruising, that might not be the only thing. So what you should know is that inside SailGrip, you have a different set of parameters, and you can really adjust your routing. Okay, and let me give you an example here. So this is a cross-Atlantic routing, okay, which took place 4 years ago, I think. So the light blue is the actual track of the boat, okay, so which I reconstructed, and the the dark blue is the routing that we did when the boat was off Portugal. Okay, so what you see here, what is remarkable is that it's extremely close. Okay, what is even more remarkable is that when boat, it's not my boat, did that that cross-Atlantic, is that I didn't have the polar of the boat. Okay, so you can tell me, I mean, how did you do that? Let me explain to you. So I'm sorry, it's, the comments are in French. So the dark blue is the routing. The light blue is the actual track, And what you can see is that everything was perfect, even the timing, okay? So what was that boat? The boat was Massif. So it was the Rudy Rom, okay? And Massif, he was, the boat was not at 100% of its capacities, okay? And what I did here is you see that I did the routing pretty much 24 hours after the start of the race. And what I did, in fact, is I adjusted the potters, okay? And by adjusting the potters with the 24-hour history, I was able to get a very accurate potter, and you can see that. I mean, the result is pretty good. So why do I say that? It's because very often what I hear is that I don't have the polar of my boat, so I cannot do any routing. That's wrong. Just do a little work, go sailing, do some routing, and adjust your polars with the data that you can get with your navigations. Okay. So what you have to I mean, to get from this is in SailGrip, the routing is very flexible. You have many parameters. Maybe sometimes I'm saying too many parameters, but you can do pretty much what you want. Okay. What's next? So nautical charts. So we have several sources of nautical charts. I can start from the left side. So the left sides are raster charts. So today we have some sources from the NMEA, UKHO, and the French SHOM. Okay. The other thing is on the center, it's Navionics. So we work pretty hard with Navionics to be able to integrate their charts into our app. The idea being, if you have a Navionics boating license, without any other cost, you can use these charts within SailGrip. So it's pretty powerful. Okay. And on the right side, I can show you that you have other sources like satellite images being a box. Okay. So most of the time today, people are using Navionics. Okay, because they are awesome charts. They are not very expensive, and they are up to date, which is kind of key for me. Okay. Question? No question?
Still no questions.
Okay, next, NMEA data. So NMEA data, these are the data that are produced by all the instruments in the boat, and you can receive them in the app. And how do you receive them? You receive them by Wi-Fi, okay? You can get pretty much all the parameters. The app is bidirectional, which means that you can receive some data and you can send some data back, okay? The installation is very simple in SailGrip. Most of the time, the only thing you have to do is to select the vendor for your electronics, like Digital Yacht, okay? So on the left side, you see that you have the speed over ground, so that's from your GPS, course over ground from the GPS. The speed through water, it's from your lock. The true wind speed from your wind vane, and the true wind direction from the wind vane, okay? And on the left side, you have some AS data as well, okay? What you see, the chart that you can see at the bottom, is to show you the power of this data. It's STW_EFF, which means speed through water efficiency. So it's the efficiency compared to the polar of your boat, okay? So what you see here is, at that time, I was at 96%, okay? And what you have below that is an average over 5 minutes, and then an average over 20 minutes, okay? And below that, you have the chart, okay? So what you can see on the chart is that at one point during 20 minutes, the efficiency was on and off. In fact, I was sleeping with the spinnaker on, and the spinnaker was not really well regulated. Okay, so if you put what you can do in the app as well is put some alarms. So here I could have put an alarm on this speed through water efficiency, and this would have never happened. Okay. So now, how do you receive this data, Nico?
Right. So firstly, we have received questions from John Taylor.
Okay.
You want to see?
Yeah. Oh, so why? So the question is why should I use SailGrip if I already have Navionics? So and I see the weather routing is a benefit. Yes, I mean you have many benefits. Okay. With Navionics, the only thing you can do today, pretty much, you have your chart. Awesome. You can integrate with the GPS, GPS of your device. That's perfect. You can even have AES data. Okay. But you are missing. I mean, you have some weather data, but frankly, it's really crap. So for weather, you have to have SailGrip. Okay. And the thing is, if you get good weather data, I mean, it's to go faster, of course, but it's to sail safer. That's the most important thing. So if you want to sail safer, get SailGrip. Navionics is not really gonna help you. Okay, so whether the weather data, the source, the data themselves, to the weather routing. 3, I mean, the AIS, and I'll come back later on that, is way more powerful in SailGrip. And you have all the weather charts, all these things. You have the alarms in SailGrip, and you have many things that you don't have in Navionics. The Navionics boarding app is an awesome app. If you go like that for one day, you don't really care about any other thing. You're very close to harbor, but whenever you go outside, you should definitely have something like SailGrip. Okay.
Right, thanks, Adam. Yeah, it's true that SailGrip is a much more developed app compared to Navionics. Navionics is really limited in terms of its features. And for IIS, there's no maneuver boards, alarms on Navionics, for example. So do you get all those data, whether it's IIS targets or depth, speed, wind, etc.? You need what we call an NMEA to Wi-Fi server. So on all your boats, you all got either an NMEA 183, which is the old system used back in the 90s till early 2005, 2010, or you can also have now an NMEA 2000. So if you have what we call an NMEA 183 system on board, you need either the WLN10 or the WLN30. The difference between those two products is the WLN10 is only one input, so you can only connect either an IIS or your range of instrument sensors, whereas the WLN30, it has 3 NMEA 183 input and output. So you can connect IIS, depth, speed, your chart plotter, etc. But as well on the outputs, you can connect the NMEA 183 output to your autopilot. So you can send some data from SailGrip all the way back to your autopilot. So this is for the NMEA 183. So obviously, NMEA 183 is different, the wires, etc. from each manufacturers. So if you go on digitalyacht.net, which is our blog, we have listed most of the manufacturers' equipments, such as the Raymarine Series E, Furino GC60, etc. And you can see exactly how to wire up our products to your existing equipment. However, if you have an NMEA 2000 network on board, Henri, do you mind to go to the next slide, please? So you need what we call an NMEA 2000 to Wi-Fi. So NMEA 2000, which has been released a bit more than 10 years ago, in 2008, is a very easy system. So it comes a backbone where you got some T connector, and whereas whether it's Garmin, Furino, B&G, etc., they all use the same connectors. Raymarine use CTOC NG. CTOC NG for the cable is basically NMEA 2000, but only the connectors. So if you have a CTOC NG network on board, you need a simple NMEA 2000 to CTOC NG adapters, which cost around $25, 25 euros. So Navlink 2 is a plug-and-play solutions. Is actually the only NMEA 2000 to Wi-Fi server, which comes in NMEA 2000 drop cable. You simply connect the drop cable into your NMEA 2000 backbone. It will self-power itself. And then how it works, you create a Wi-Fi network on board where you can rename the Wi-Fi or change the password. Then you connect your Android tablet or smartphone to Wi-Fi, turn on your app SailGrip, and you will get all your NMEA 2000 Wi-Fi, all your NMEA 2000 data onto SailGrip. So that one, having two, if you have an NMEA 2000 backbone on board, is the easiest product to have. I know there's some new products from competitor which has been released on the market, but as I say, that one is one of the cheapest, but also is fully NMEA certified. And in every app or software, they can't read NMEA 2000. So actually, an NMEA 2000 to Wi-Fi converts all the NMEA 2000 into NMEA 0183 and then send the data onto your app. So this product is NMEA certified, comes with the NMEA 2000 drop cable, and it has a very good price. So that's all for NMEA 2000 to Wi-Fi server. And now we're gonna see a range of IaaS with Wi-Fi built-in. Do you mind to go to the next slide, please?
Yeah, you have a question, Nicolas? Will my older WLN20 also work?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, exactly, John. The difference between WLN20 to WLN10 and 30 is WLN20s are old generation of NMEA Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi is not password protected, but it's absolutely compatible with SailGrip. It's the same thing. It's just because with the WLN10 and WLN30, we changed some features, such as it has a web interface now. So through the web interface, you can change the NMEA 0183 speed interface. So like 4,800 baud, 38,400. But as well, you can join an existing Wi-Fi network or even change the name of your Wi-Fi. But in terms of NMEA to Wi-Fi features, it does exactly the same.
Okay, so let's go to the next slide. So AIS. So of course in SailGrip you can get your AIS. So AIS are data that are emitted by the boats, and you can receive these data, and they are awesome for safety. Okay, so what you can see on the screen here, all the small green triangles are actual boats. The ones which are in red, there is a danger. They are close to us, and there is a danger that we calculate what we call the CPA and TCPA, which CPA stands for closest point of approach, and TCPA, time to closest point of approach. And in SailGrip, you will have some alarm if the CPA is less than, say, half a mile, and the TCPA is less than 20 minutes, things like that. And of course, all these parameters, you can adjust them. Okay, so here on the on the screen, on the landscape one, you can see that there is a boat in alarm, and on the left side you can see that you have only green boats. None of them are in alarm, and you can see the small ones which are just behind me. You can see they are different from the one on the left. They are smaller. These small ones are what we call AES class B, which are pretty much sailing boats. Okay, so here this was a race. We are going to Bayona in Spain, and as you can see, it was pretty good because the guys were behind me. Okay, any question? AIS, Nicolas.
So now we're going to go through our range of Digital Yacht IS. So basically, if you don't have an IS on board, neither an IS nor an NMEA to Wi-Fi server, you can actually go for AIS transponder with built-in Wi-Fi. So what is a transponder? It means transmitting your position as well as receiving. So the entry-range IS transponder with built-in Wi-Fi is a EAS-TX, so it's the class B IS, which means it transmits every 30 seconds and receives every 300 milliseconds, to be exact. It's actually the most affordable IS transponder with built-in Wi-Fi at the moment. And it comes with an external GPS antenna as well as a VHF antenna, because at the moment we are running some special offers on our website as well as through some of our distributors in US and Europe. So that product, it actually has a built-in Wi-Fi antenna inside the unit. It creates a Wi-Fi network, which is password protected. And same, it will transmit all your IS and GPS data straight onto onto SailGrip. However, if you want to also receive through Wi-Fi all your other NMEA data to get the depth, speed, wind, etc., we need to look for another product, which is the IAT 5000. So the IAT 5000 is actually the most complete IS transponder on the market. It's also Class B plus 5 watt. So I'm not sure if you guys know, but there are now three class of IS. Class A, obviously for cargo, fishing, professional boat. Class B for pleasure and pleasure boating in general. So Class B IS transmit every 30 seconds, and the power is only 2 watts. But the issues with Class B is obviously it's every 30 seconds. So a fast speedboat is not the best IS class to have. But as well in certain crowded area, like in the channel, if it's too crowded around you, you can't transmit your IS positions. So now this is a new class called Class B plus. So it uses SOTMA technology, and SOTMA technology is the same IS transmission as Class A, meaning that an IS Class B plus, no matter where you are, so the channel near Singapore Strait, etc., you will always transmit your positions. And as well, it uses 5 watts for the power, so it will transmit more often. It will transmit up to 3 seconds, depending on your boat speed. Excuse me. So the IT5000, it also has a built-in VHF splitter. So I know we have all heard about pros and cons about VHF splitter, but the reality is it's very simple. You can install a VHF splitter if it's an active zero-loss VHF splitter. And that's the case for IT5000. There are lots of VHF splitter on the market, but most of them are only passive VHF splitter, which cause a lot of issues with your VHF radio and IS transponder. But when you go for zero-loss VHF splitter, it has also a fail-safe in case the 85,000 doesn't have power anymore. It doesn't create any interference or issues with your VHF radio. But the only cons with the zero-loss VHF splitter is the cost is around $300, 350 euros. So that one, the VHF splitter is actually built in within the product. And as well, it has an NMEA 1MP multiplexer. So it means you can connect on the NMEA 1MP input of the IT5000, you can connect your existing sensors, shot putter, etc. And all those data will be transmitted over the Wi-Fi, IS, GPS, NMEA, etc. So if you have actually an NMEA 2000 network, you can simply add, or I convert the NMEA 103 to NMEA 2000 converter. That will transmit all your NMEA 2000 data to NMEA 103, and then will be transmitted all those data over the Wi-Fi. So as well, the IT5000, the Wi-Fi is password protected, and same if you have a Furino radar with built-in Wi-Fi, you can merge with that product. So actually the most complete IS transponder on the market. We run some special offers at the moment on that one because we have launched a virtual show, because as you all know, all the boat shows, Paris, even Miami next February, etc., they've all been canceled because of the COVID crisis. So if you go on our website, digitalyachtamerica.com or digitalyacht.co.uk, you can find out our virtual show and find out about all our new products, technology, answer to your questions, etc. If you have any questions about our IS products, feel free to ask them.
Yeah, I just want to insist, I mean, thank you, Nicolas. Here we are showing only the transponders, not the receivers. Today, I mean, you should really go for a transponder, forget the receivers. I mean, it's so much better. I mean, so much safer to get a transponder that I do think that today, I mean, they are not very expensive. You should definitely buy these transponders. Okay.
Yeah, it's a very good point. So for instance, the ASTX, which is the most affordable IS transponder with built-in Wi-Fi, also GPS antenna, because bear in mind, most of the IS transponder on the market are not supplied with a GPS antenna. So us, you got both GPS and VHF. The cost is around $499, 500 euros.
Can you repeat?
$499 US.
Okay. Yeah, so go for it, definitely. So
our IS as well, they are protected and you can use it all around the world. There's no issues with that.
Okay, so I was telling you in the introduction that we are currently developing in partnership with Weather 4D, and KD Sailing Performance, a post-navigation app or website. And this is what you'll be able to see. You'll have your map, all your navigation, and all your navigation data. And of course, with all these data, they will be in the cloud, and we will be able to do some statistics and some analysis. And that's why we have partnered with KD Sailing Performance. And KD is the best sailing performance company right now. I mean, they work for all the boats of the Vendée Globe, of the TP52, the America's Cup. So stay tuned. In 6 months, you'll have something which I hope will be kind of awesome. Okay. NMEA and internet.
Yeah, so the last point is to discuss about getting internet as well as NMEA data on board. So Henri can actually explain you the benefits of that, because he actually use R4G Connect and iCommunicate.
Yeah. So let me go back to this. Today, when I go sailing, I do have on board this iCommunicate and 4G Connect, and so I can transmit back all my data to this new app, which is called Navigatio, and in quasi real time, you have all your data which are displayed on the website. Okay, so what is really cool with that is you have only one network on board, and which is connected to the internet. So for example, as well, the other thing which I did not mention earlier is for the AIS. You can receive your AIS locally for what you see on your boat, but you can receive AIS from the internet as well. Okay, and for example, with the AIS from the internet, you will be able to see some boats which are behind an island, stuff like that. Okay, so I think these days, having one network on board which is connected to the internet is really what we should go for. Okay.
Yeah. So if you want me, guys, to go into more details, so basically, 4G Connect is a 4G booster. So some of you in Europe still want to use a Wi-Fi booster antenna, but as we all know, especially in France or in Italy, all our Wi-Fi hotspots in marina bars are very bad. Yet we have an amazing 4G, even soon 5G network in Europe. So in US, I know you guys have a very good Wi-Fi hotspot, and 4G is still more expensive compared to Europe, but yet with the 4G Connect, you see have a better and faster internet on board. So with 4G Connect, what is good is you're actually independent. You don't need the password for any Wi-Fi hotspot somewhere in the marina. You just need to simply add a SIM card. So Bouygues, SFR, anyone, AT&T in US, etc. Then it comes with either two internal antenna, those two black antenna you can see, or two external antenna with a 7, 10, or 20 meters cables, which is in feet, 23, 33, or 66 feet for the cables. And then that product creates a Wi-Fi network on board, and you can connect all your smart TV, tablet, PC, and you will get a fast internet up to 20 nautical miles. So for fun, me back in England, at 20 nautical miles from the English coast, I was streaming Netflix perfectly. There was not any, I wasn't waiting for the page to load or whatever, it was fine. So inside you insert a SIM card, but then what you can do is also receive all your navigation data. So we do that. We use iCommunicate, which has NMEA 183 and NMEA 2000. So it doesn't matter what you have on board. It's compatible with all the equipment. And then it outputs all the data via an Ethernet interface. So we're going to connect the Ethernet onto the 4G Connect Ethernet port. And then over the same Wi-Fi network, you're going to receive a fast internet access as well as all your navigation data. So what is good is up to 20 miles, you can actually download all your group files or receive IS for internet. And then above 20 miles, you will probably not receive any more internet connectivity, but yet you will receive all your navigation data, IS data locally, depth, speed, etc. So with those two products bundled together, you actually have a very powerful network on board. You can send back your data on shore, etc.
Okay, thank you, Nicolas. So now going back to the Android hardware. So as I was saying earlier, SailGrip is an Android-only app. Okay. So what I do recommend today is a tablet. It's much more comfortable. And this one is the Samsung Galaxy Tab Active 3. So it's waterproof, it's rugged. You can see it in daylight, which is kind of key. But of course, you can use any other recent tablet and go for at least 7.0, okay? And don't buy a crappy Chinese tablet. It will work, but you're going to be disappointed at the end, okay? The app works on any Android phone, okay, which is 7.0. And what is not really well known today is that this app and any other Android app works on Chromebooks. So what is a Chromebook? Let me show you. Chromebooks, these are laptops which run Chrome OS, okay? They are not very expensive and really very good, okay? So on board, that's what I have. I do have a tablet, of course, but I do have a Chromebook, or what I actually do have as well is a Chromebox, which is a PC that runs Chrome OS, okay? The last thing is you can run this app on emulators on a Windows PC or on a Mac. Do that at home. It's not very good, but it's okay. Okay. Don't do that on board. Okay. And of course, if you go offshore, you need a satellite connection. So I do recommend today the best is the Iridium Go. So what it does is, if you don't know it, so it connects to the satellites and creates a Wi-Fi network on board. And the nice thing about it is you have unlimited data subscriptions with no commitment. So pretty much for if you go across the Atlantic, say, you take a 1 month subscription, and it's going to cost you 150 euros or dollars, pretty much. Do it if you do that. Please don't take the subscription 1 day before you leave, because if you do that, you know that it's not going to work. Okay, I receive tons of emails of people telling me I'm leaving tomorrow and I'm having some issues, and of course they had never tried. Okay, so please try before. And SailGrip WR is totally integrated with the Iridium Go, with a kind of smart download and resume, which allows you to load kind of big grip files. Usually grip files, so the size that is recommended through the Iridium is 50K, I mean, and here you can go up to 250, okay? And that's it. If you have any question.
Hey guys, any questions? So also, if you guys want to find out how to configure SailGrip app with all the Digital Yacht products, you can go on digitalyacht.net, which is our blog, on digitalyacht.fr/blog for the French versions. And we actually explain how to configure SailGrip with all our NMEA to Wi-Fi or IS transponder. It's very easy. You just select in the source Digital Yacht products. It's simple, but we need to explain some people. And as I say as well, if you have a complex navigation system on board, you don't know which NMEA to Wi-Fi or IS transponder, feel free to give us a call. We have a team based in UK, in US, and as well in Europe. We can help you out and give you some wiring diagram with exactly the products you have.
Okay, so thank you guys. Thank you, Nico, for inviting us.
Thanks, John. And as I say, yeah, also have a look at our virtual show on Digital Yacht America or digitalyacht.co.uk or .eu.com. You can get more information about our products. And the SailGrip is a perfect Android app, works very well with our products. We've been promoting this app for more than 3 years now. We never had any negative feedback. So if you have an Android tablet, is an app we recommend to you.
Thank you, Nicolas.
All right, thanks for that, guys, and have a good day or evening for those who are in Europe.